Artificial intelligence in psychotherapy, between hope and risk. There are phases in life when everything feels heavy, the ground seems to shift, thoughts whirl around, and one feels as though there's no way out. Anyone who's been in a psychological crisis knows this helpless feeling. And anyone who has ever waited for a therapy appointment knows how endless the excessively long wait can feel. This is exactly where new hope starts, a hope that surprisingly emerges from machines, AI, in psychotherapy. But can a machine truly grasp what's happening within us? Can it offer comfort, give encouragement, or even aid in healing? Today, we aim to delve into this very question, and you might be surprised at how advanced AI already is in certain areas, but also where the journey has only just begun. The silent crisis in psychotherapy. In Germany, people often wait months for a psychotherapy appointment, and in some areas, even over a year. A survey by the Federal Chamber of Psychotherapists found that almost half of those affected saw their condition worsen while waiting. There aren't enough specialists, demands rising, and waiting lists are packed. Meanwhile, digitalization is advancing by leaps and bounds, and precisely here, a space is opening up that was unimaginable a few years ago: the digital listener, AI, for therapy. What may initially seem like utopia is now reality. AI chatbots like Woebot, Wiser, or TES are having thousands of chats daily with people in psychological crisis. These programs are based on methods of cognitive behavioral therapy and analyze the written word to respond appropriately. Users often discuss topics with these digital therapists that they would not confide in real people. Why? Because an AI does not judge. It listens around the clock, without waiting time, and theoretically without prejudice. But how well does it really work? Can AI really help when someone is struggling mentally? And what do the studies say? Unexpected findings from research. A study conducted by Stanford University in the year 2022 discovered that individuals utilizing AI-based therapeutic applications experienced a notable enhancement in their mood and stress levels after merely a few weeks. This is comparable to initial sessions with a human therapist. Another Woebot, which has been developed by professional psychologists, has demonstrated in a clinical study that it can effectively alleviate symptoms of depression and anxiety, especially among younger user groups. Of course, a chatbot cannot replace therapy, but it can help to build bridges between a crisis and finding a therapy place, as well as between helplessness and initial guidance. What can AI do and what can't it do? AI is analytically strong. It spots patterns, moods, and even subtle signs of suicidality. She forgets nothing, evaluates quickly, and is ideally neutral and always available. But AI also has its limitations. She doesn't feel, she doesn't understand what it's like to be abandoned, to feel guilt, to lose oneself. She can mimic empathy, but not feel it. So, the question is a well-simulated empathy enough for a real therapeutic effect? This question is still unanswered, but early signs suggest that the perception of care can be more important than its source. When someone feels heard and understood, whether by a person or a machine, it can already have a stabilizing effect. Perhaps you might be contemplating whether it is not perilous to rely on a machine during your most challenging moments. We will address this question shortly, using a real case where exactly this ended tragically. First, let's closely examine what's technically possible today. The therapeutic toolkit of the future. Language models like GPT can do more than just engage in small talk. They analyze contexts, can even recognize emotional tones, and ask targeted questions. In the future, they could offer individualized exercises, provide personalized journal analysis, or even act as emotional training partners. An example from the application: Visa integrates artificial intelligence with exercises derived from mindfulness, cognitive processing therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, and even Stoic philosophy. Users have reported that, through consistent daily use, they have cultivated a more profound understanding of their thought patterns, and many describe the AI as a genuine companion. But such systems are only as good as the data on which they have been trained. And here lies a danger that hardly anyone talks about, between hope and risk. A concerning situation. In 2023, a case became known that caused a stir. A young man, who was in an acute psychological crisis, engaged in intensive conversations with an AI system over several days. The contents of these conversations were disturbing, and they ended tragically. The AI had not recognized that the man was acutely at risk of suicide. This case serves as a cautionary example that AIs do not offer complete security, and that, despite their apparent intelligence, they are not accountable when they fail. They can make ethically challenging decisions when they enter the borderline of human distress. Can AIs recognize suicidal crises? Indeed, researchers worldwide are working on algorithms that can recognize early warning signs of suicidal thoughts through text analysis, with an astonishingly high success rate. Studies from Columbia University show that AI systems can distinguish between vulnerable and stable language with over 90% accuracy. No system is perfect, and no AI should be solely responsible for human life. It can assist, detect early, alleviate, but not replace. AI as a complement, not a substitute. In an ideal future, therapists and AI work hand in hand. The machine detects patterns, gives initial assessments, and provides relief through simple conversations. The human brings deep empathy. This combination could not only reduce waiting times, but also enable new forms of prevention. This vision needs guidelines like data protection, ethics, and education. For people with mental health issues should not become guinea pigs for an unrefined technology. And then? Perhaps you found yourself while listening. Perhaps you remember a time when help seemed too far away. Or are you currently pondering whether artificial intelligence can truly be a solution or merely a kind of placebo? Development can't be stopped now. The question is simply how we mold it, with enthusiasm or with caution, with fear or with hope. For the greatest power that AI can have does not lie in computational ability, but in how we utilize it to achieve the most human of all goals: healing. In psychotherapy, opportunity or risk? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate a like or subscription. This way, you can support me and my channel. Thank you very much for that. Would you like to know how AI is already supporting doctors in medicine today? Then you should definitely watch the following video. Until next time, stay curious,